Hello, everybody. So I'm trying to figure out. I've got all the codes in to stream on different platforms on this, but it seems like it's only going to Twitter and Twitch. Um, Perhaps you can help me with that. I've loaded the things and they're turned on, and they just I go into my Facebook right now to see what's going on with my Facebook, and I am not live, but it says I should be live. So I don't know. I don't know what's the deal on that, and I don't know who's out there. Can you help me? And I've got Prime, so I should be able to do it. Twitch multi-stream. Let me look at this. Multi-stream. Stream chat read only. Yeah, it only gives me Twitch, which that's the main page I'm on right now, but I wonder who ba-doom boom boom. Sorry, I'm reading this. I've got a podcast called Life and Laughs Podcast, and so we're looking at the stats. We released an episode yesterday, and I'm just looking at the stats. So, how you doing, everyone? Wah, 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 wah. I didn't do a YouTube. I usually do a YouTube. I say usually. I've only been on here like 4 or 5 days, but I usually do a YouTube music or Pandora music. But I noticed that it cuts me off on the replays, and so it's just silence. And then not only does it cut off just the times that I'm on there, like the music's on there, but like half of the entire video after that is silent until finally it has my voice on there. So I don't want it to do that anymore. So I know there's some free music out there and other stuff that I'm going to look at. I'm new to this whole scene. So if you feel so inclined to help me and give words of advice, I'll surely listen to those, just on practical things like why is this not streaming on all the platforms like it says it should be. I've done everything that YouTube tutorials tell me, and I've done everything that's everything I know to do, but I still don't know what's going on. So, oh, look, I'm going to go into the light. This is me when I get a good idea. So I'm a type 1 diabetic. When I was 4 years old, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And I remember it so well. We were watching Star Wars at the movies, and I just wouldn't stop peeing. I wasn't peeing in my pants, although I did pee in my bed until I was like 14. I did. It was a thing. It was a thing. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not on here to lie to you guys. It wasn't every night, but it was often enough where I'd have to worry if I was going to sleep over and go hang out with the guys or something like that. I used to avoid sleepovers because I was afraid I'd fall asleep and I wouldn't wake up, and then I'd wake up and there would be a wet bed under me, and it was me. It was my fault. So I had that in my life, but that's not what I'm talking about. I had to pee a lot, and that is a result of having high blood sugar, your glucose readings being really high. And so if you're craving water a lot, you feel dehydrated, and you got to pee all the time, it kind of works together on that. You may want to go get checked out. I was 4, and I was having those issues, and so then my parents took me to go to the doctor. Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of peeing blues. And the doctors did all the checks, and they were like, yep, this dude's got diabetes, type 1. Now, there's a difference between type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes. And the people with type 2 diabetes, and most people that don't live with someone that has type 1 diabetes, pretty much think they're the same, but they're not. type 2 diabetes, for the most part, is called adult onset diabetes, and you get it by what happens is, so you got this pancreas. I'm going to say, let's say this sticker right here, this DMV sticker, that's my pancreas. And let's say it's your pancreas to make it even more exciting. Your pancreas, what it does is it produces insulin that you need to lower your glucose level or your blood sugar level whenever it gets high. How does it get high? By eating carbs, by eating food, but like protein, like meat proteins and vegetables, they don't do it that much. But when you eat like chips, when you eat sweets, when you eat tortillas, I love tortillas. When you eat those kind of carbs, it shoots your blood sugar higher. And so your pancreas says, "Oh, I know what's going on, so I've got to produce this insulin," and it squirts out the insulin, and then that insulin brings the blood sugar back down, your levels back down. But here's what happens in a type 1 diabetic. A type 1 diabetic, the pancreas itself is not producing the insulin. And so if it doesn't produce the insulin, then your blood sugar just gets higher and higher and higher. And so that's why we have to take shots with insulin from outside and poop, and just, poke ourselves. And then that insulin does. So what we're doing is the work of the pancreas. The pancreas is supposed to produce insulin and release it when the blood sugar gets high. What we do is like, okay, we're going to gauge this. Usually the pancreas would do that, but we do it from the external, and you kind of learn your own system over time. And then you bring it back down. And it's a constant managing of that. Now, a type 2 diabetic, what happens is the way that we eat starts wearing down. Like we're overworking our pancreas and our system. We're overworking it by eating junk all the time. And so this thing is like, man, it's overworking, and it's starting to go out. It's starting to not be able to produce the insulin that your body needs to keep up, because we are the ones who eat the wrong things all the time. And so that's why they tell type 2 diabetics, hey, slow down on the bad eating. For those of you just joining me, this represents the pancreas. I use the DMV sticker that I got today, representing the pancreas. And so a lot of times a type 2 or someone who doesn't live with a type 1 diabetic, that doesn't understand that their pancreas just does not produce insulin, they will hear things about how if you eat this or if you stop eating this, you won't have diabetes anymore. Well, that's not the case with a type 1. Type 1, your pancreas is just screwed. You're taking shots. Okay. Type 2, pretty much that is a reversible. That's a fixable problem for a lot of times. Sometimes you get your pre-diabetic, and then sometimes you get where your pancreas just shuts down over time. So you want to watch how you eat. But anyway, one of the most frustrating things for a type 1 is when other people say, "Oh yeah, I know people that have cured diabetes because of this pill or this." There's no cure unless you replace the pancreas, of which I'm not sure why they don't do that. Maybe they're making too much money off selling insulin and shots and syringes and blood sugar things, all that. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that there's a chance of it. So if we can transplant and replace a heart for somebody, why can't we do a pancreas? Seems logical, but who am I? What do I know? So anyway, when I was 4, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, meaning for the rest of my life, I would have to take shots and manage my blood sugars. Now, as a younger man, I had a lot of trouble with this when I was really young. Then in my teenage years, I had some trouble with it, but I didn't want to stand out, so I kind of I tried to hide from my friends and stuff that I was diabetic. I didn't want anyone to know because I was embarrassed. I was just embarrassed about it. It wasn't a big thing like it is now, and people didn't know as much as they do now about how to manage it and whatnot. So then, in my 20s, then I just completely almost ignored it. I still took shots, but I was just randomly poking insulin in myself. I'm surprised I'm still alive. And so now the last few years, I've really tightened up the screws, and so I carry this thing around. This is my Dexcom G6, and what this does is there's a little meter right here on my stomach. It's plugged into me through a little needle, and it stays in there, and it tells me at all times where my blood sugar is, so I'll know, oh, it's at 110 right now. If I need to bump it down, or if I'm going to eat, then I'll get a shot to help me with that. So that's what I do. So if I'm going to eat carbs, if I'm going to eat chips and dip, I'll say, how much of this am I going to eat? Let me take some units of insulin, just like my pancreas would produce that into my body. That's what I'm going to do right now, so I can enjoy that meal. And so it's nonstop. It's nonstop. But some days it's good. Like I said in the title of this, some days I put the ease in disease. Because diabetes is a disease, and it's just easy, and it's good, and you feel good about yourself. And then there's the rest of the days. And the rest of the days, it's like I put the die in diabetes, and it's rough. It's rough on your system. So that's me. That's just a little more about me. Type 1 diabetic. You'll hear this thing going off sometimes when I'm on, and you'll know that I need sugar. I keep these beside me almost constantly. And that's what's crazy, is that you're not supposed to be eating sugar, as a diabetic, but you have to have sugar nearby just in case your blood sugar drops. What happens when my blood sugar drops? I've passed out. I've woken up with ambulance and paramedics all around me on numerous occasions. It's not fun. It's embarrassing. It's it causes a scene. It scares people. And I've even went into seizures. I'm not sure why that has happened in the last few years, but I've started to go into seizures whenever my blood sugar gets real low, and that's not good, because you feel like you've been hit by a truck. Already coming out of that, whenever your body's because when your body goes super low, when your system goes super low, and you pass out, your blood sugar goes super low, and you pass out, you can go into a coma. That's one thing you can do. But the rest of your body, it does what it can to try to boost you back into it. It's a weird thing, and so everything, like, your organs just squeeze any kind of glucose that they have out, so that way it can bring you back and revive you. It's a really, really cool thing that your body does to try to save you and rescue you. But after you come back, and after you get a Coke, and that's the quickest way. If anyone ever sees a diabetic, or a diabetic, they're having a reaction, a blood sugar low, they will get real grumpy. They'll be sweaty. They'll be real grumpy. They'll talk in slurs. They're not drunk, but they're incoherent. You need to, just as much as you can, and quick as you can, get a Coke and get it into them. Get them to drink a Coke, and they'll probably try to reject it. It's a weird thing that happens with us, but it will save their life. It will save their life if you can get some sugar, and not sugar that takes a long time to kick in, like a Pop-Tart or something like that. That's good, but it's going to take a while. You want a Coke, you want apple juice, you want orange juice, something that's got a lot of sugar real quick, Don't look for that sugar-free stuff. Don't get no Diet Coke. Get something that'll boost them back. And so that's one way that you can help. So these are ways that you can help and keep someone alive. And a lot of people know people with type 1 diabetes. And if you ever hear someone talking about that they have it, let your ears tune up, because you can be a help to their life. And it encourages, I'm telling you, it encourages us diabetics whenever people want to understand. They want to know more, because it's a weird disease. It's a weird thing, just to know, like, hey, I got something in my body doesn't work. It's my pancreas, and I don't know. It's just weird. It can be embarrassing. It really can. It can be. I know we're not supposed to be embarrassed about that kind of stuff, but it's life, and we are. So not everyone, but some people. And so for me coming on here, just sharing this with you, it's a vulnerable spot, but that's who I am. That's who I am. And then you'll see, if you see a post sometimes, and I've had a hard time or whatever, from it, you'll understand. You'll have seen this, and you'll understand where I'm coming from, and why it is that it takes a couple of days to recover from a bad reaction, and but that's okay. That's okay. We live and we laugh. We live, we learn, and we laugh. Life and laughs. Hey, if you're not subscribed to that podcast, Life and Laughs podcast, come on, subscribe and all that stuff. How you doing out there? Anyone out there? You want to comment? want to talk, want to ask a question, want to dialogue, what movie you've seen lately, what's your favorite movie, what kind of movie, I don't know why I'm talking about movies. I bet you, because I live in the Los Angeles area and they have finally said that we can go to the movies again. I'm not sure exactly what the rule is on it, but I think you can sit like, one seat and then a million seats later another person. I'm not sure. So I'm excited to see that back because I love going to the movies. I love going to the movies, and I like popcorn and pickles. Woo, popcorn and pickles. Man, I love it. Love me some popcorn and pickles. And I know that not everyone has tried that, and some people are like, what? Oh, yeah. Listen, if you like pickles, you just have a like for them. You don't even have to love them. You just have a like for pickles, and you like to eat popcorn at a movie, here's what you do. Go get a pickle. Sometimes snack bars have them. They don't in most places now, so you kind of got to buy one of those ones in a package, before you go, like at the gas station or whatever. Or I buy a big jar of pickles, the big jar of pickles, and I'll wrap some up in a Ziploc bag, and I'll smuggle those jokers in to the movie theater, and then I get in there. So then you put the pickle on top of the popcorn bucket inside there, and then you bite the top of that pickle off, and you shove popcorn down. You just shove it, on the top of it like that, and then bite that. I'm telling you, once you do that, your life will be changed forevermore. You will never go to a movie and have popcorn independent of pickle anymore. I'm telling you, those two will be together. It is a staple, and I love it. I love going to the movies and having popcorn and pickles. So maybe that's on my mind for that reason. You are always on my mind. You are always on my mind. That's an old song about popcorn and pickles and me thinking about them. So I was raised in Little Rock, Arkansas. My whole family's from San Fernando Valley, California, the valley, and then my dad was drafted in the Army when he was 18, and then that was before I was here, and then they moved them to the middle of the country, and they had me in Dallas, Texas. Never lived in Dallas that I remember, but then I was raised in Little Rock, Arkansas, and during the school years and during the summers, most of the summers back in San Fernando Valley, California, LA, Los Angeles, hey. And so I live in Ventura, California now, which is just north of LA, little beach town up here, and so that's me. So some of you can hear a little bit of a southern drawl in my voice. That's because I was from Arkansas, which is spelled the same way as Arkansas, but for some reason Arkansas, they leave that S off the back end of that. So there's that. There is that. All right. I'm set up to be able to go online and look at stuff and everything, but I haven't set the scenes up for that yet. So I'm not able to do that at this time, but I've got a person helping me that's going to set that up for me, that we can go online and watch some stuff on there. But if you watch this now or later, please help me understand why my streams are not multi-streaming, even though I'm using a multi-stream platform. Streamlabs OBS is what I use, and it should be going to Twitch, which it is. Should be going to Twitter, which it is. Should be going to Facebook. Nay, it's not. And it should be going to YouTube. Nay, not. Neither one of those. It should be live on there right now. I should be getting comments from those places, like I do when I go on live from those places. Oh, by the way, my name is Elias Israel. I like to wait. I like to wait till I'm. Where's the time? Where's the time in here? I like to wait till I'm 10 minutes and seconds in before I introduce myself. My name is Elias Israel. Some people know me as Elias Israel Tyndall. Some people know me as Elias Tyndall. Some people know me as Elijah Tyndall. It's all the same name. My legal name is Elias Israel Tyndall. Elias is the same name as Elijah. They're interchangeable. I go by Elijah. I've went by Elijah almost all my life, but my legal name is Elias, so I use that for the entertainment stuff, for the comedy stuff that I do. I'm a stand-up comic. I'm a career comic, meaning that's what I do for a livelihood. That's what I do for a living. I travel around, going to clubs, going to conferences, going to just stages all over the place, and performing for people and speaking for people, and that's what I am. I am a communicator, and Elias Israel is what I do use for that stuff. But it just changed to that. I went by Elijah Tyndall for a long time. A lot of legality type stuff and reasons why I did that, but it doesn't matter. It's all my same name. So there you go. There you go. Here we go. Here we go. Bum bum bada bum bada bum. If you're out there, I appreciate you looking, you stopping, you following, and when I hit my goals, I've been on here for